Yeah, I can't
I
sneeze.
feel like I never really speak to you when you're on meds.
Have you never spoken to me when I was fully... I don't...
No, because I said I didn't. I wanted to get to know you as you first. You're like, I'm like this and this when I'm not sober, and I was like, well, I want to get to know you first.
Well, it's like it's almost the same as when I'm drunk, just slower.
How you are when you're drunk.
Yeah, just slower. Because when I'm drunk, I'm a little bit more
You're so
yappy.
cute when you're drunk, though. No, when you were drunk around us in Thailand, you were like a parasite, but a cute one, just kind of attached to people. You'd attach yourself
Thanks,
to people.
Ria,
Like
420 for the one resub.
No, I think when I was drunk, I kept telling like Tonki that like I love you. And Tonki's like, oh my god, I love you too. And then I think I forgot that Tonki said that, so I said it again, and it was a whole conversation. A word in my head, I think. All I remembered was you had a picture of us like in the karaoke, and I saw it, and I'm like, damn, my face looks so red. This is ass.
It's my fave picture, guys. It's so fucking cute. I'm in her lap, and I'm taking a selfie, and then she's squishing my face, and I took a picture.
That is true. That picture does exist.
The only pictures of us from that trip is like the one with you and the gigantic drink, and then the one of me on your lap, and then the other one is like you, me, and Yuzu in that cuddle pile.
What cuddle pile?
Wait, and then the one of me crying while hugging you.
Oh, actually, I have another one. It's a picture of me. It was like us in front of a big statue, looking really disgusting.
Oh yeah, and yeah, in front of the Pride
Numi
building.
should ask about the soundboard. There is the true snippets. That is the Michi Mochivi.
Yeah, we found like
I'm gonna have to take so many pictures of you when you're here.
We found like a pride statue, and then all four of us, the gayest people on earth, walked in front of it and was like
me? That's crazy.
Me? Nar.
As a straight Filipino woman, I am offended.
As an ally, I don't like women. How dare you? I like cock. That's like one of my favorite things to ever say.
I was playing Dark Souls with Yuzu the other day. It was so fucking funny. She was like talking about this one VTuber. She was like, yeah, and she's bi, just like you. Have you told them yet? I'm like, well, if I didn't say anything now, they would have known. It was so funny. Yeah, the tweet was somebody made the video. Oh, it was so fucking funny.
Wait, where's the tweet?
Like, oh my god. Oh, here, let me show you. I retweeted it. It was so fucking funny. I found it. I sent it. You know what the best part, guys, is of having the Michi subathon? Well, I mean, she can miss me, but like if I ever miss her, I just pull up her stream and then I can just watch. I'm like, damn, I miss her. Guess I'll just watch her stream.
This is so... Actually, I felt the same with your subathon too. So I'm like, okay, this is chill.
Yeah, but the difference is I would also be messaging you throughout it.
I also do message you.
Like, messaging wife.
I do the same thing to chat. Wait, what is this video? Hold on.
It's nice. She seems really
and
nice.
she's bi, like you. Well, no, you're not. Well, wait. Have you said anything?
The funniest thing, guys.
Oh man, I need to rewatch this. What the fuck?
Really nice. She seems really
and
nice.
she's bi, like you. Well, no, you're not. Well, wait. Have you said anything?
The funniest thing, guys.
I love you so much, bro. I love you so much. He's so funny.
We were literally just talking about before that about how Sho always leaks shit because you know how he leaked our trip to Japan.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about that. We're like, we can't trust him with anything, and then like 5 minutes later, she does that. And I'm like, bro.
Does people not know?
What?
I am a pro at seeing holes before I step into them.
What? Why are we talking about holes all of a sudden?
Don't mind me, just paying my purple Yuri tax.
Do they?
Guys, that I'm bi.
Now that you said it, so you are. This is news to me too. Is that did people know about this? Mm.
Wait, you don't know about how that how it happened?
No. How you became
I was
bi-
outed by Buff. Was that, guys? It was like in 2022. I was
tell me
doing
the
a date night
story.
with Buff. You know the date night you were on with me when we were like when we first met. I was on that with Buff, and we were just kind of talking. And back then, obviously, like people could be like, "Well, we fucking." I'm like, no, it doesn't matter unless you explicitly state it. Otherwise, it's just gonna be people trying to guess and be like, "Well, maybe she." Blah, blah. But we were just talking, and then she just randomly said like, "Blah blah blah," blah because you're gay or something, and I was like, "Ah." And then she was like, "What?" And then I said, "Well, now they all know that I'm." She was like, "Oh." And then another time, I was doing my podcast with Lily and Bao, and then they both were like, I was so shocked to find out that Numi's not a lesbian. And I was like, all right. So,
Damn. Damn. How could Numi not be at least bi, Kek? Honestly, I kind of assumed you were bi because the pictures of you when you were younger was
what the fuck?
you remember like the picture you sent me and it was you like edited and then in the back it's like love
The
yourself
fucking
for
Tumblr one?
yourself or something like that. Love who you are or something. And then there's like a gay flag right there and I'm like, oh, okay.
No, I didn't know I was back then. I didn't know until I was 15 and a half, 16. I just thought that's what was cool on Tumblr back then. I didn't even know like gay people were like real, until I was in middle school. And then they said this one popular girl at our school hooked up with another girl. And then in my head I was like, what? How does that work? What? And then I had one of those moments with girls where I thought to myself, I just really wanted to be their friend. And there's this I had a tendency to become friends with these popular girls in school. I don't know why. They just got sat next to me. Oh my god, I remember. Oh my god, guys, I remember this story. Do you want to hear this story?
Yeah.
So I was a freshman in high school and I was in biology class. And there was this one girl. She was like this popular girl at our school, I guess, her with a rich family. And she was really pretty. And the teacher sat us at the same table, the lab table thing. And I didn't talk to her because, I didn't really, I just went to school to go home. But I went home that day, and then it was that same weekend, I got a call from my brother. And my brother was all, oh my god, Numi, like, I just made out with this girl that said she's in your class. And this girl grabbed the phone out of his hand, and she was like, oh my god, Numi, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't know that was your related. I'm so sorry. And then I'm like, in my head, who the fuck? I don't know who this bitch is. And I'm like, it's fine. I don't know who you are. And she's like, no, I really wanted to be friends with you. I really want to be your friend. I think you're great. I'm like, huh? I was so confused. Just this girl was profusely apologizing to me. And then I was like, girl, I don't even know who you are, but it be like that sometimes I guess. And I hung up or something, and then my brother, wait, is the mic doing the same thing it was?
No, it's not. No. It's already fixed now.
She was messaging me and saying, I'll make it up to you. And I'm just like, I don't understand why you're like, I don't fucking care that you kissed my brother, my brother was like a very rizful dude. I don't care. And I just didn't know this girl. And I showed up on Monday to school. I always showed up late because I overslept. And so I opened the door 5 minutes late, and everybody just looked at me in silence because I came really late, and my teacher at the time would like to stare and make you feel really uncomfortable and guilty. So I open the door, I walk inside, and then I see the girl that kissed my brother just staring at me and smiling. And I'm just like, oh, this is fucking awkward as hell. And you know what she does? She stands up and walks over to me in her high heel shoes or whatever and hugs me in front of the whole class, where they're all just staring at us.
Thanks Luke
in
_@
silence.
kiss for the one
And
reason.
she's like, I'm so excited for us to be friends now. And then she just sits down, and I was like, what the fuck? And she kept very true to her word, and we became like best friends. And she'd always try to. She reminds me of you in how fashionable she was. She would always try to dress me up, and I was around her so much that the popular guys at the school would always come up and say like, "Oh, are you going to this party?" And then I'd look at them angrily and be like, "No, who are you?" And it just and she used to invite me over to her gigantic mansion for sleepovers and just talk about things with me and say like, Numi, like, you know, I don't really like these people. And then I'd say, well, why are you hanging out with them? And she was all, because it's like, I have to. It's like a social order. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? And despite everything, I just always wanted to talk to her. We would call and FaceTime all day, every single day, and hang out all the time. And she would always just drag me places with her to talk to her friends and stuff, and I'd just be like there. And one day we had a open mic night for poetry and music.
Aww.
And I sat in a chair, and she came late, and there were no more chairs left. I was wearing shorts, I think, and she sat next to me, and she leaned her head onto my knee, where my knee was, and I just felt that part where her head was resting just on fire. It was just like burning. And then I felt like a pit in my stomach. And I was like, what is this feeling? I'm very confused. And then after that, a couple weeks later, one of my best friends came out to us as gay. Like, he's like, oh, I'm gay. And I was the last one to find out. I said, why y'all tell me last? He was like, because we thought you'd be homophobic. And I was like, oh, right. And it got me thinking more, because then my other friend came out as a lesbian. And then I was like, what the fuck? Like, damn, they all around me. And then I took those Are You Gay quizzes and stuff on BuzzFeed, and I took all of them, and it would always say like bisexual, and then I'd say like no. I dealt with so much internalized homophobia. I still have it to this day, but I was rejecting it for so long. But then when I thought about that experience and an experience with this other girl that I knew that was my friend, I was like, yeah, this could be it. And then I told the friends that came out to me, and then we went to a bonfire for my friend's birthday, and this one girl that she invited was this girl that I went to Catholic school with when I was really young. And she grew up to be like my exact type, which was like black hair. And she wore glasses too, which was really attractive to me and stuff. And then I told my best friend whose birthday, and I said, wow, I thought she was really pretty. And my friend said, yeah, I told her that you said that. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And she said, and because she also said she was bi. And then she was like, wait, Numi thinks I'm pretty, but she's like really hot. And she tried to add me on Snapchat, and then I added her back, and then I never said anything to her, and we never talked again. And you know how you have that one girl in your head, called the first Woola, you know? The first woman? And they will always be somebody you think about until you are gray and old. It has been years and years, and I still think about her sometimes. I'm like, fuck.
I get it. Oh, no, fumbled it. It's okay. You were young. And nervous. Did you... Y'all got so many stories. I know a lot of people have stories about like how I found out that when you said like I didn't know gay people existed. What kind of shade of mythical are you?
I just never really thought about it, because I don't know. And yeah, I grew up to be more comfortable around it. But I do think that I had among some of the ugliest kind of first liking girl experiences, which is like, oh, liking your best friend, or liking the straight girl, or liking the religious girl. I had every fucking one. And then it was like, oh, I fell for the girl that lived in Canada, and I did not live in Canada. And then now here I am all by myself in
It's
this
okay.
house.
It gets better.
Why are you gay?
Why are you gay? Yeah.
But I'm still friends with every single person, though. The one in Canada, I talk to her all the time. I'm like, hey, girl, hope you're doing well.
Oh wow, Michi.
I'll send you a
all
new
that staring at the
plushie.
sun to
Yeah.
get glasses. To get the boy in school's attention, might finally come in handy with Numi Mishimoki actually.
Yeah, I didn't have those kind of stories because I didn't know what being gay was. But when I was like in like 5th grade or something, when I was like really young, basically, I had my first crush was on a girl. It was on my friend that I had since I was in 3rd grade. I remember that. We were friends since 3rd grade, and then we continued being friends until like 6th grade, right? Oh my god, my voice, that's crazy. My bad.
Wow.
But
You know,
that was my first crush. But I didn't know it was a crush, so I asked my mom. I was like, "Hey mom, like I was like, hey mom, I like, is it normal that I feel like I feel this way towards like this one person I know, like to a girl?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, that's normal, because you know like women are beautiful and women are talented. It's normal to feel that way." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure then." So then I never thought that that was not normal until later on in life, where I did had another crush on a girl, and then I was talking to my mom about it, and my mom's like, "The way you talk about this girl is like as if you like her." And I'm like, "I do. I told you I liked her." And she's like, "No, like as like a lover." And I'm like, "I do." She's like, "What? What? You like women?" And I'm like, "Yeah. I always had. I asked you once and you said it was normal." And she's like, "I meant admiration, not a crush." And I'm like, "Well, it's too fucking late now, is it? I already don't have internalized homophobia, and I always thought that I was gay. So that's, well, you can't take it back." And she's like, "Yeah, fair play." So
that's the best case scenario, bro. You know,
oopsie.
the guy that was my first kiss, his girlfriend at the time, who was one of my best friends, was my first
Ooh.
girl kiss. And it was both of them were under the same roof. Different times, but same roof, yeah.
What?
So my first kiss was a dare with the guy that I had a crush on, right? And then, oh my god, then like I remember afterwards he started dating one of my friends, and then they broke up. And I said, "Oh, cheer up, bud. Why don't you come go to this one restaurant with me and my other friend?" And then we go, and then I noticed he liked her, and then they started like making out on a couch next to me. And then I was like,
Right.
"Okay, well, I guess I'll use this one application called Hot or Not." And I put my pictures on Hot or Not to try to talk to boys. And then that was a dating site for like high schoolers. And it rates you. Like you can rate if you think somebody is hot or not, right? I was ranked a 4 out of 10. And then I saw this one guy in my school that I thought was cute, but then when I was looking at him, I was like, wait, I thought he had a girlfriend of 2 years. And he messaged me, and I was like, wait, don't you have a girlfriend? And he was like, please don't tell her. So in that same night that my two like best friends got together, I found out that this one guy at my school, this really like religious dude, was like on there secretly to try. And then yeah, that was crazy. And then like a couple months later, my friends were dating for a bit, and then we kissed in my kitchen.
You have one of the weirdest stories ever, bro. And Numi's
There's so
life
many
is like a
fun
movie.
stories.
It really is, chat.
Nah, guys, you gotta hear the 7th wheeling story. That one was a crazy one.
The what?
When I 7th wheeled,
How do you 7th wheeled?
I make things that seem impossible become possible. This was like at a point in my life in high school where I was so depressed that like I was hanging out with a new friend group because they were always free, and I was like, well, we're all really best friends. Like there was a couple, like 2 of the people in there were like my best friends, and the others were like people that I met in class, but they were kind of like, they were, you know, Freaks and Geeks?
Yeah.
You know that show? Freaks and Geeks. It was like the freaks. I was like hanging out with like those kids that were like kind of cool and badass, but not the regular popular looking kids, right? They were just kind of cool. And I wanted to appeal to them and be their friend and stuff. And so I said, guys, let's hang out at my house. All of us are friends. And then I invited the girls over, and then the girls ended up inviting these guys over to my house. And I didn't really know who they were. I was like, okay, it's fine. It's just hanging out with a bunch of friends. This is fine. And then there were 2 movies going on. There was one movie in one room and one movie in the other room. And I'm just sitting watching the movie with my one friend who is now like a successful model slash actress with this one guy. And we were all just watching the movie together. And it was getting to the good part. And I was going to turn to them and be like, oh my God, this is fucking crazy. And I turned and because I felt them touching my shoulder. And then I looked next to me and they're like heavily making out. So much to the point where she was almost on top of me. And I was like, oh. And she said, oh, sorry, Numi. And I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine. No, don't even worry about it. And so then I got up and I'm like walking past the kitchen. Then I walked past the kitchen and I saw another scene with two of my other friends in which they were having a good time eating. And then I walked past that and I said, you know what? No, yeah, let's just keep going. Let's go to the other room. And then I go into the other room a little late. Well, I went upstairs, I think, for like 5 minutes. And I was like, okay, what the fuck? And then I go back downstairs. And then I have like an L-shaped couch in my one living room. And there were two couples making out, like laying down on each side of that couch where that movie was playing. And I was like, well, this is fine. And so I ended up just walking up to my room and then I just fell asleep. I made, I recorded a video of myself at the time being like, hey, Numi, everyone's like making out downstairs and you're by yourself in here, but surely they all still want to be your friend after this. And then I woke up the next morning and then two of my other friends were like laying on the floor cuddling together. I was like, all right. And yeah, good times.
What kind of fucking stories do you have? Jesus. That's life experiencing life, chat, am I right? That is crazy times. I never experienced any of that. I think
I don't recommend. Yeah, I just went to my room to just chill by myself, and one of the other guys like threw up all over our backyard, then left, and I was like, all right, this is fine. This is whatever, I guess. Like, yep. Is that the life of a social person? Fuck no! I didn't plan that shit at all. They invited those people over. I just thought I was gonna hang out with my friends at night.
Just US high school type shit. Dude, the only thing that I can remember was like, I remember in middle school, the boys in my class had like a book where they wrote like the names of the girls and they would like rank them. It's like, I feel like that's a canon event. I don't know. But like the boys in our class like wrote down all of the girls' names and had numbers next to them, right? They did not write my name down. My name was not on the book. And you know what's even worse? The boys showed me their book. And they were like, hey man, check this book out. So I'm like, oh cool. So I was looking at it. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let me look at myself. Because I'm like, oh, I agree. But then I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me check myself. I didn't exist. So I was like, well, now it's weird if I asked. So I didn't ask. But I was like, okay. So then after that, I talked to my friends, like my girlfriends, and then no one knew about the book. And then now that's
You're
how
one of the boys.
Don't ever say that. Deadass, do not ever say that. That is one of the most disgusting things. It's not even that. I genuinely think they all thought I was gay.
That's cause you are a bro, Michi.
No, bro, I'm pretty sure they thought I was gay.
So the pictures of you are...
Okay. Listen, did I look straight? No, but at that time, yes, I was kind of. Listen, man, I don't know. I was still a girl.
I know. I was the girlfriend, so I get what you mean.
Let's just say reality
in addition
hit
to
hard
those
that day for
experiences,
her.
probably like I can't even count, but many times where that same situation happened. Like I was gonna go bowling with my friends, and I was going outside to wait with my friends, and I was trying to ask them something, and I turn around and they're just making out, and I was like, okay, slay. And then I go back inside to my other friends, and they're also making out, and I was like, okay, cool. And I remember one time there was this one guy that I really liked in my music class, and I was hanging out with him, and then this other girl was there. And then, you know, like one of those times where you think that maybe he liked you back, but then you notice the way that he talks to somebody else. And I kind of looked between them and I was like, wow, ooh, I realized that they both liked each other. And then another guy, I liked him and he was friends with me and my other friend. And then I found out that he liked my best friend. And every guy that came into our friend group always tried to talk to one of my friends.
Oh my god. Yeah, She's so interesting. They're cooked.
Well, guys, this is why it makes sense. You know when people are like, I don't get why Numi's like the blah blah blah. I'm like, well, you know, when that situation happens to you for the 30th time, you start to think to yourself, well, maybe this life ain't it, y'all. Maybe I need to turn to become a chronically online individual that does nothing but read AO3 fix, and that's what I did instead.
Oh my god. Also, your mic would sometimes turn robotic, but it'll come back naturally, and I don't know whether it's Discord or your mic.
It's probably the audio interface again, probably acting up.
Do you want to hear one of... Okay, I don't know, because like I feel like I'm lucky in the sense where I've never had a phase of like, oh, I'm not gay, being gay is bad, or I've never had that because my mom fumbled. Like literally my mom fucking fumbled, bro. Because like I trusted my mom with everything I had, right? So the moment my mom was like, oh, it's normal for a girl to like girls, I'm like, all right, then everything else everyone else tells me is a lie. Because I believe my mother. Turns out my mom didn't even mean it that way, but at least she's a champ and she took the L very graciously. But
that is such a good thing to do. Like, that's so good because, you know, she supports you and you got to grow up not thinking it was a bad thing.
My mom, I wouldn't say she supports me, but she's like you know what, that is my bad. And then she just takes it. Hi, Mal. Stop. It is the way my mom fumbled through, right? Because my mom is the type of person that's like, she's very stubborn, but if she's wrong, then she's very stubborn about the fact that she made a mistake. So like, the moment I'm like, bro, you told me it's normal, so I've always been this way. And she's like, ah, fuck. All right, then go along. It's one of those. So I've never had a moment of like being like, oh, I am so, I'm not sure whether I like this. Like if I like you, right? There's one story that I had in middle school that has weirdly, it's not as crazy as the stories you tell because like, I'm from Indo, bro. We don't do shit like that. Or if we do, no one knows, and that's the point. If people know, then, well, no one talks about it. But one of the stories I had in middle school was there's this girl that used to play a lot of sports. Like, she'd play, like, basketball and football and all of that stuff. And I always thought that she was cute, right? But I didn't like her. I just thought she was cute. And because I wasn't, like, closeted, I guess. Like, it's very obvious that I like girls. She had a time where she would walk up to me and then I want to be her friend because she's a really cool person. And she would be like, nah, bro, I don't do that like gay shit, right? And I was like, I mean, I don't fucking, it's not like I like you, you know? So I'm like, all right, that's fine. But then she would continuously try to come back. Like she would go out of her way to look for me because I am that one only kid in school that likes girls, you know? Like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other students in school that was gay, but like I was the only one that everyone kind of knew and it wasn't a secret. So she would like walk up to me a lot being like, hey, I don't know. I feel like it's not insulting. I don't know. Maybe it's because I thought she was cute that it's not insulting. But now that I think about it, I think she was trying to insult me. But I was like, oh, she's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she would do that to me. And then I wouldn't be mad because I'm like, oh, that's so cute. But she was like, hey, you like girls, you whatever. And then I'm like, oh, she's so cute. And then at one point, we became kind of friends. Like we were in the same class. And then we're not like close, but like we spoken and we're cool with each other. And every now and then she would be like, hey, I want to talk to you about something, but like, you know, I don't have a crush on you, okay? And like, I don't swing that way, bro. I don't swing that way. And I'm like, that's fine. Like in my head, I don't like you that way. I just think you're cute. But I get it. I guess some people need reassurance. So I'm like, that's okay. It's okay. Like I'm not gonna try nothing, blah, blah, blah. I like somebody else. I didn't. I like nobody. And she kept doing that for like a year and a half. To the point that like I went over to her house. I met her family and shit. And we were like hanging out in her room for a project, right? And throughout the project, she would continuously talk about like how she finds it disturbing or disgusting or like weird, and she wants to know why I like girls and how I like girls because girls are icky and shit. So I was like,
she's like, kiss me so I know how weird it is.
I was like, I don't know. And there was even one time, actually, now that I think about it, there was one time, it was a group project. There was 4 people. There was me, her, 2 other girls, right? And then we were in her house. And I still remember it was like a craft project with like ice cream sticks and shit. So we had to use glue and everything was messy. And then she was like Michi, can you like cuddle in bed? Like not cuddle, but like come over on bed, like on the bed with her. And I flat out said no because I'm covered in glue. Like that's nasty. I'm not gonna sit in your bed after I just touched glue. That's weird. And then she was like, then go wash your hands. I'm like, ma'am, actually, the glue that we're using can't be removed by just glue, with just water. It needs to have dish soap. So I was like, I literally said that. I said, oh, actually, we need dish soap. So I went down to look for dish soap, had a long conversation with her mom, went back up, and then she just never brought it up again. Because I was like, hey ma'am, do you know where the dish soap is? And she's like, hey Michi, what do you need for? I'm like, oh, we were doing this project, my hands are sticky. She's like, oh, did you use this glue? And I'm like, I did use that glue. And she's like, oh my god, and I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. And I had a full conversation with their mom for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, I probably
literally
need
would
to
have gotten into that bed, honestly.
Nah,
Even if I had no idea.
I was like, nah bro, I was covered in glue. Like that's gross. Like
I need you to kiss me just to make sure, because God, why do you do this? Like, I don't understand why you're like this. You know what you should do? You should just make out with me right now, so then maybe we can figure out what's wrong here and get to the bottom of this. Like, because this just doesn't feel right.
You know, that has happened to me so fucking often that at this point I don't know whether they meant what they mean or whether I'm just stupid. But fast forward, actually, years and years later, she moved abroad for like studies, and she came back. Yeah. And she came back like completely different, right? And then she reached out to me and she's like, you know that thing you assumed about me a long time ago, that I was gay?
Chia 300
I'm like, yeah.
thought I was listening to a Numi story. They even fumble the same.
And then she was like, yeah, I am gay. And I'm like, congrats, man. I wouldn't have known, right? But like, I wasn't making a big deal about it because, like, I mean, girl, let's be so for real. But I was like, okay, cool.
Oh my god, I think I know who you're talking about. I feel like we talked about
Have I
this.
told? Yeah, and then
I think you showed me this person.
Oh my god, yes, I have. Yes, I have.
You did. Oh my
have.
god, I don't remember the full lore, but
I have. And then she was like, let's hang out. So then we did hang out. And
she
then
gay as fuck, y'all.
we hung out. Like, I met her for the first time in years, right? And I was like, cool, you know? And then she took me to a cinema, and then she paid for everything, and I'm like, wow, that's really sweet, I guess. And then she tried to make a move on me during the cinema thing, but I didn't want to do that because I was really invested in the movie. And I still remember this, motherfucker, the movie was Jumanji. I was so invested in Jumanji. I was like, oh my god, that's Jumanji. So I was watching, and then she would be like leaning her head on my shoulder and shit, and then she would touch my face, and I'm like, oh, you want some popcorn? So then I keep like giving her popcorn, and at one point just handed the whole popcorn over to her because she kept trying to like lean over to take my popcorn, and I'm like, damn girl, you hungry? So I didn't even care. I was watching Jumanji, and then after the movie, I found out that she had a girlfriend. So I had a gut feeling. I'm telling you, okay, people that make a move on you that fast got something to hide. Why you don't take your time? That's weird. I don't like that.
Boy,
I don't play
like
that way.
Boy. I think every single person that I've felt anything towards or just really wanted to be their friend or something, they always ended up telling me later, like, oh yeah, I'm like bi, or oh yeah, I'm gay. And I just kind of sit there and I'm like, wow, maybe that means my gaydar kind of ate or whatever.
I don't know. I've shown Numi the picture of the girl I'm talking about, and I was like, girl.
No comment.
Girl, this is the most like girl. All right, girl. All right.
Yeah, if I would have looked at her, I would have been confused if she told me she was straight. That is definitely. I wouldn't assume, but I would look at her and be like,
Oh my god, there's another story. But this, okay, chat, hear me out. I feel like I'm pretty base for what I did, but this was in college. There was another girl that I befriended because she told me that she was either straight or asexual. I forgot, but like all I remember when she told me, she was like, oh, I don't like girls, right? I'm like, cool. So we're friends, we're good friends. At one point, she kept, when people ask questions, they're like, man, I wonder how it feels like to kiss a woman. You know those? So it's like, when people do that to me, and I'm pretty sure she's like asexual. Okay, I'm pretty sure. So because I knew that she was asexual, she was like, I wonder how it feels like to kiss a girl. I told her, I'm like, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it feels like any other kiss, because I mean it depends on the person. If they're tall, then maybe it's like kissing a really tall person. I don't know. And they're like, I always wondered about it, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't think about it too much, because there's a lot of videos on the internet and you can probably find the reference. And they're like, yeah, but I wonder how it feels, you know? And I'm like, well, it probably just feels like a normal kiss, like how you'd kiss yourself, I guess. I don't know. And then she kept going and going and going, and eventually she was like, Michi, would you ever kiss me? And I'm like, no.
Oh.
I'm like, no, because you're sexual and you don't like me, so why would I? Yeah, at that time I didn't know the difference of asexual and aromantic, keep in mind. So I was like, you don't like that, you know what I mean? So I was like, no. And then she was like, oh, is it because I'm a girl? And I'm like, no, you don't like girls, why would I do that? She was like, but what if I do? And I'm like, then you should find out first and then you tell me. Is what I thought. I was like, then you should find out. What am I supposed to say? What? Don't be like, but what if? I don't fucking know. I have a lot of what ifs too. I'm not gonna be like, hey Numi, so what if the world ends? Like, I don't. What is Numi gonna do about that?
So you when you're in those situations, there's literally no part of you that will ever question a what if, that like, maybe this person's saying these things because they're coming on to me.
Why would they? They don't like girls. Like, if they don't like girls, right? It's just a what if, like, you know what I mean? It's like, if let's say I go like, hey Numi, what if I became like an airplane? Like, motherfucker, I'm not an airplane, so it's just a what if. I don't know. You know, it's like, unless I'm actually an airplane, I don't know how to describe it. Like, you don't like girls, so their what if is a what if.
I would just read their body language and the way that they're acting towards me, and then think to myself, perhaps this person might be interested in me. Like, one time I was hanging out with my friends, and they invited people that I didn't know, but I thought one of the girls was very pretty, and then we were all drinking. And then we were
Michi, not everyone is so rock solid
like,
in their sexuality.
The one that I thought was
are.
really pretty was being very, very like affectionate towards me. And immediately in my head, I was like, okay, because I believe that they just straight up said like, yeah, I'm bi, by the way. Numi, are you? And then I was like, oh yeah. And then the girl that was my friend was like, yeah, I'm straight, but I honestly thought you were like a lesbian, Numi. And I was like, okay. And then after I said that and she said that, she was getting really close to me. And then I was like, I wonder if there's a reason that perhaps she brought this up next to me. And then like, we were all very drunk and everybody passed out. And she told me to lay down on the couch next to her. And then I think we just laid next to each other for like 20, 30 minutes in just complete silence. And then I think I said something. Because I was ready to jump out of the window if I didn't say something. And then, oh my god, the thing I said is so gross. It's so gross. But like, I said, like, I think she asked me what I was thinking about. She asked me what I was thinking about, and I think I said like, oh, you know, how badly I want to kiss you right now. And then she said like, oh, you can do whatever you want to me. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want to me. And then I think that freaked me out. I think it freaked me out, but I was like, well, here I go. And then I...
Not the here I... Well, here I go.
We like... We made out, but then afterwards I got scared, and then I was like, okay, good night.
Okay, in my defense...
And then I left in the morning.
In my defense, chat, I don't think I fumbled, just because, hear me out, I'm not doing this because like, oh, Michi, you could read the body language, you know what I mean? Like, there is a chance, like someone said, like, not everyone is as like, what is it, like, sure in their sexuality as you are. Here's the thing, chat, because I've always known, this has happened to me very often, where a lot of people want to find out their sexuality through their only gay friend that they know. You know what I mean? It's like, because everyone knows it, right? So I've had a lot of like, not people do that, but like people asking me these questions of like, why do you like girls? Or like, what makes you like girls? You know what I mean? And over time, I'm gonna be real with you, chat. The first time it happens to you, you kind of feel cool, right? If it keeps happening to you, I'm not gonna give up. Like, I think physical intimacy is a very big thing. Chat knows that about me.
Yes, sir.
I don't do physical intimacy until I know somebody, right?
Yeah.
I am not going to give someone that if I don't know whether they like me or whether they want to find out through me. And y'all, if you're not sure about your sexuality, go find out. That is completely fine. Just not through me though. I'm not gonna be your tester subject here. Like,
And that's your right.
I don't want to be the person who's going to determine whether you like girls or not, because if I am going to take that vulnerable step to like be physical with you because you see it, like I see it as like I'm giving you something I really care about, and you see it as you're testing something, I'm gonna be pretty fucking sad. So over time I've had this like now I don't really think about it too much, but I don't, if people hit me with the what if, like what if we did this, haha, I would not do anything by that unless I know you actually like me for like me and not the fact that I'm a girl who likes girls, you know, like then I would be a bit more open. But if it's like nah, you know, it's different. It's like if you want to find out, that's your right, but no, not with me, girl, not with me. I'm not doing
We're at
that
that
shit.
age now where it's like, if I'm like, I don't have time to talk to somebody that would be trying to use me as an experiment. I'm like, girl, I'm too old for this shit. Like, I know some people are late bloomers and there's a lot of repression, but I don't need to relive that for my own mental health. And I don't know, when I think about intimacy, like if you're like kissing somebody, I don't even, I get scared of doing that because then I'm like, oh, what's next? And then I think about what's next, and then I don't like that, and so then I'm like, okay, I'm going home now, bye. And so then I just went home. But you know, I'm not mean about it. I'm like, wow, that was, thanks for being so nice. Have a nice day.
Oh my god, dude, there's so many moments where it's like, even if, because I did have a moment where I did have a crush on a girl. There's multiple times where the way a lot of my crushes with girls it just so happens that they're straight. It's so funny, but it has happened so often where it's like I have a crush on a girl, she's straight, and then they're so romantic to you, and then they say shit that makes you go like, oh my god, wait a minute, maybe they're not straight, maybe they like girls, maybe, just to find out that they're like experimenting and shit, and then they have a boyfriend. It's like, that shit sucks so much ass, okay? Canon Woola event is like, you will get your feelings played, and then you realize at one point you're gonna be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not doing it. So like, unless you explicitly tell me that you genuinely like, you know, you see me in a way that I see you, even if I really, like, if I have a big crush on you, right? Even if I have a really big crush on you and you're like, what if we kissed? Like, blah, blah, blah. I would still turn you down. I would still be like, nah. I'll be like, I mean...
Are you the type to not, would you confess first?
No. Absolutely not. No. I'm gonna sit my ass down. You know what? It's fine. I'm okay if you allow me to be a close admirer, I will. But
Thanks,
if I'm
Pedro,
a far
16
admirer,
for the
I
one
don't mind
Lisa.
that either. I'm just an admirer of all things.
How
But
the fuck does
I
that
ain't doing
even
that.
work, bro? Like, I've had crushes on people where it's like so unbearable that I just have to fucking say it and get it out of my system. But I think I get more freaked out if they like me back, because I just don't expect reciprocation ever in my life. So
Numi, we're counting on you here.
if they reciprocate it, then I freak the fuck out, because I just do it expecting to be rejected. But I've only fell for one straight girl. And after that, I was able to tell the difference between how a straight girl treats you versus how a Woola does. Because the way that a straight girl would hold on to you or give you a hug or something feels different than the touch of a girl who is actually interested in you and stuff. It's like the same thing with a gay guy versus a straight guy giving you a hug. You can tell the difference between it. And
the first time someone wanted
I read
to
that
use
shit
me as a gauge
immediately,
on their sexuality,
so I don't
thought it was
ever
kinda sweet. But
that,
when it turns into 10 plus
and you were
people
saying that
wanting to
when
use
you're
you
meeting
as a
these
physical
girls, they'd
litmus
say
test,
things
it
like,
starts
"Yeah,
to
like
really
I'm
hurt
not
your
like into that
feelings.
though." Why do they just start off by saying that to you? Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Someone said like the first time someone wanted to use me to gauge their sexuality, I thought it was kind of sweet. But when it turns to 10 plus people wanting to use you as a physical litmus test, it starts to really hurt your feelings. 10, bro, I stopped at 2. I stopped at 2, bro. The second time I had a crush on someone hoping for something, and then they're using me as a test. Nah, ever since then I'm like, nah, fuck you. Fuck all of this shit.
Real.
Yeah, I ain't doing this anymore. Never again. I didn't even do physical. Like, it's just like, you really got my hopes up for what? You got my hopes up for a man? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, bro. That shit hurts. Ooh. But
Yeah.
I don't like
just
to
hate-
confess.
I think I'm just so used to the rejection that I just don't even bother anymore. And like, I don't know, I feel I'm just okay oftentimes if nothing happens because I've just been comfortable living my life the way I have my whole
Indeed.
life. And every time I felt super deeply about somebody, it messes me up so much that I can't work well and it makes me really angry. And so I hate that.
Almost.
I get mad. I'm like, fuck, I can't fucking write with this shit in my head and I want to bang my head against a wall. I liked this one guy in school and then I said, I'm like, honestly, I really want to bang my head against a wall right now. He was like, what the fuck? Are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm fine.
Oh, you would have... You know, in my whole life, guess how many times I've confessed?
0.
1, actually. 1. That's
Did
it.
they reciprocate it?
I think I did it really poorly. I was really young.
Oh.
So I don't think I even said what I wanted to say. But aside from that, never again. I'm not doing that. That I'd say is kind of fumbly, but like I don't know. I feel like there's no point. You know, I enjoy what we have going on. So I don't wanna start nothing. And then you know why? Why would I do that?
I feel like whenever I would do it Doom
Oh, I did
poster
do it
version.
once. I did have a crush on somebody one time on stream, and then one of the dares that chat told me to do was to confess my feelings to them. And then after I confessed, they gave me a slight ick, and then I stopped liking them. See, that's what happens. I don't know. I feel like if I confess, I get like, because in my defense,
Why would you even do that on stream though?
Oh,
Like,
I didn't
if
do it
was
on
a
stream. It
real-
was like a dare, and then I didn't tell chat what I was doing. I just sent it, right, and then after that, like, dude, imagine you tell them how you feel, and then they were like, "Oh, I mean, we can turn it into a game because I'm not sure how I feel about you yet." I'm like, "What? Just say no." Well, what do you mean a game? Like, we're not fucking kids, bro. This was when I was like an adult. Like, we're both adults, bro. Like,
What the
that's
fuck?
weird. Okay, now
Yeah.
you see what I mean. Like, that kind of gave me the ick. It's like if we were in high school, I'd be like, "Oh my god," but like, come on now. Like, I told you, like, "Oh, I like you." Just say like, "Oh, I don't like you back, but I wanna be friends." That's fair. But if like we can turn into a game and we can see how far we can take it, because I'm not sure yet. I don't wanna do that. That is weird. Because I'm not playing nothing with you. So that's why I was like, that's an ick. That's an ick for me. And I'm like,
Thanks
no thanks.
for the _Onimusha for the one
Damn, that's
resub.
fucking crazy, bro.
That icked me out. Thank you, chat. Now you understand why I said that. It gave me an ick and then I didn't like him anymore.
Yeah, I would never do that's strange. Whenever I would like confess to people in school and shit, I would do it so doom postery. I'd just be like, just wanted to tell you that this is how I feel. All right, well. And then they're like, what? And then I'm like, I don't want anything. I just need to let you know how I feel because it's making me go insane. And then I'd move on with my life.
Yeah, I think that's one thing, chat. I will say, like, love can be all goofy and shit. Like, if you have a crush on someone, sure, you can make goofy things and do goofy things. But like, I'm the type of person that's like, if I'm gonna be serious and get into a relationship, I'm gonna see it as a serious thing. Like, I'm not that point in my life where I want to fuck around and find out. You know, like if I want to be in a relationship, I'm working towards a forever kind of a thing. So I don't really want to waste energy and time on someone that I know isn't gonna be part of my life in a year. Because what's the point? So if the other person doesn't take it seriously either, I'd rather not do that. And also, it's not fair because like I would take them very seriously, and I'd actually like the things they won't like, I would really heavily consider, blah blah blah. Because, you know, if we want to live together forever, I have to know these things. But if they don't reciprocate, I'm not in here to be hurt. You know, like, we can be hurt as long as we work towards the same goal. I don't want to fucking do this tango with someone that is trying to have an experience for like a certain time. I'm here for like, I'm talking marriage type shit. So I don't wanna, I have high standards, but I feel like that's my high standards is like, I will lock the fuck in. I just need you to lock the fuck in. I don't want this high school, college, like, what if
Life is
we
tough.
just
I have
have a
always
one-night
felt different
stand
from
and-
everyone else. Always on the outside.
yeah.
I experimented in the past and found I firmly only like women, but I still make lots of jokes as if I am open to all. But I'm always honest that I only like women. Though after my marriage fell apart,
I don't even
and the way
understand how
trying to
people could
date
just
women is these days, I
not do
feel
it-
that life is
take it
just better
seriously.
with 2D
That doesn't make
women
any
and my
sense to me.
imagination than with any
I
real
don't
person will ever
understand.
be to me.
That doesn't make
I
sense
hope
to me.
everyone else
It-
finds
I
better
think
in life than
talking
me.
about somebody's feelings is so important.
Yeah, I mean, someone told me about like how they felt. Listen, man, some people, this is my opinion, okay? It's not about the gender, really. It's about the person. A lot of the time, like, what I notice, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm gay, you're gay, you like women, I'm a woman, I like
Oh my god,
women,
how do we
you're a
relationship the
woman.
most peak manga ever for Yuri?
How do we
Sarah,
relationship?
I know you know this one, Sarah. I know you know this one. I know you know this one.
I don't know, man. I think even if you like different genders, y'all gotta have standards here. You can't just fall for the next person that would like you. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. There's so many really good people out there. You gotta have standards for yourself, man. You can't just be like, oh, you're a girl, I like girls, and you're a girl that likes girls, and I'm a girl. Oh, MG, hold hands. Don't be ridiculous. That's it. Do you only like them because they're a girl that likes girls? That's it? That's nothing more? Nothing about their personality intrigues you? Then don't do that. They're just a friend at that point. I don't know, maybe it's because like I've grown up knowing that this is who I am. So like I have more time developing the mentality that I do. But for those of you that maybe, I just want you to know, okay, you deserve really good things and you deserve good people that will love you for who you are
I
and
hear
people
your
that you love
standards, but I
for
counter
who
with
they
any
are.
holes a gold bro.
Nah, you'll find someone that is the perfect match for you. You just have to be patient and take your time. Hear me out. If your
Nah,
goal,
she hella optimistic, y'all. She's crazy.
Hear me out, bro. Hear me
Nah.
out, okay? If your goal is a forever thing with somebody, and that person is not willing to take their time with you, they don't want, no matter what they say, and this is gonna be the hard truth, no matter what they say, their goal is not forever. Because if they're rushing shit, what's the point? Like, why are they rushing? If they don't want you to take your time and they're pushing you to do shit that you're not comfortable at the pace you're not comfortable at, that's a red flag. Okay, because if your goal is really forever,
Fair point.
why
but
do
some
it
people
now?
are
We
really
can wait a
desperate,
little
so
bit.
Their standards have sunk to the bottom.
Don't be desperate.
I'm talking about Numi here.
Oh, someone just said some people are desperate, so their standards have sunk to the bottom. I'm talking about Numi here.
Hello? I'm not like that, bro. Hello?
All I'm saying, man, use the logics, okay? The math doesn't make sense. If they think, oh, we're gonna spend like 60 years with each other, why do they have to compress the experience of 10 years into a
I'm sorry,
week?
can we go back to that call? What the fuck was that shit, bro? What was that? What the fuck was that? What? Hello?
I think, honestly, I can call you right now. I can call you right now.
I do have standards. Thank you, Tonky. Damn.
I think you
What
have
the
standards, yeah.
Of course I do. I have crazy standards. That's why I would deny literally every single person unless it's somebody I think is my forever.
Oh.
Because otherwise it's not worth it. Why would I invest time into somebody who I don't think feels as much for me as I feel for them? If I like you enough to like give part of myself to you, you better be fucking slay as shit, because otherwise, bro, like they gotta compete with like the Noombas and my friends and family. If they're just not gonna be serious
true.
about it, they can get the fuck out. I would be like, nah, like literally I have fans and shit, and like you're below them, so you need to like acknowledge that, because it's never been, I always put my whole life, friends, family, like at the very top of my little tower, and then of priority, and then the relationship was just at the very, very bottom. So like if I like somebody enough to say like I would rather hang out with you than do something that I love to do on my own, then I would say maybe this is somebody that if they ever wanted to become something with me, I would be down to try it out, because so many times it's like if you try to get a read on somebody, I would say, well, I don't know if I would, but if I'm like laying there and then the other person is laying there and then I'm reading Yuri and then they want to talk to me and then I put down the Yuri, that's real shit to me, bro.
That's her standards, chat. There you go. That's her standards. Thank you, Angela Fallon, for the 10. Yeah, she's a yearner, not desperate. It's different. She just yearns hard. You know what I mean? God
have
damn,
to give me more than
chat.
Kafka can, bros.
Real and true.